Hello everybody, vidium here. I know that we haven't done many videos during the last months during the summer, and it is because the summer backlog actually has our complete attention, and that is why we haven't done the normal shows like Plugged In or Fighter's Edge and the other shows that we have on the channel. But as soon as we actually finish the summer backlog challenge, we're going to return with those videos. For now, I just want to do a really quick video, and it is because of the Olympics. As you know, the Olympics is in the eye of everybody. Everybody's watching the Olympics. Here in my island, in Puerto Rico, we are having a great time because some of our athletes have been advancing on their respective sports. I stack up here a few games that I have. They are sports related. They are all sports games. And I just want to take this moment and share with all of you the games that I have that are sports games. Now, they are not Olympic games, you know. They don't say Olympic this, Olympic that. They're just sports games. And most of these games are actually Olympic events. So I'm going to take this moment and share with all of you some of the greatest sports games that I actually own, or games that I actually enjoy playing. Now, I am not a big sports fan or anything like that, but this deck of games that I have here are games that I actually love, and I don't have all of them. That are games that I actually love when I played when I was little and all this stuff. I don't have them, but at least I'm going to show you the ones that I got. So let's do it. Okay guys, I have a bunch of games here that I want to show you. They are sport related. I'm going to start with my favorite sport, and that is boxing. So obviously my first choice in boxing is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. This is my favorite boxing game of all time, and it has to be the Mike Tyson one. Really loved it. Everybody knows the classic of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, so I don't have to talk much about it. So at the same time, we also have Super Punch-Out, which is an amazing port of the arcade. But for some reason, even though that I love this game so much, I don't seem to have the same experience that I have with the original. For some reason, I don't know. The thing is that in the original Punch-Out, there's some magic to the game that I can't find in this one. But I love this one very much, I have to tell you. An amazing game. The arcade's completely awesome. But obviously, the newest addition to the Punch-Out family, which is the Wii version of Punch-Out, really love the way they actually remake the game, because this is much of a remake of the original Punch-Out game on the NES. The only thing that I didn't like about this game is that they did not include many new fighters. They have new fighters in this game, but not as much as I really wanted to. If they actually included more new fighters, instead of repeating the same ones as Mike Tyson Punch-Out, this game could have been excellent. It is a great game, but it could have been even more than what it is right now. I have a Game Boy game here. It is called Punch-Kin, and it's made by Acclaim. Now, this game tries to emulate Punch-Out, and many games have tried to emulate Punch-Out during the years, but none has been able to grasp that awesome magic that Punch-Out has. Punch-Out is the only boxing game that it is more non-realistic, you know, more as a cartoony boxing game. But the formula made on Punch-Out has been tried to be replicated by other games, but never done the same way. And Punch-Kin is one of them. This game, really bad. I actually have it because I bought it for really cheap, for $8, brand new. But I was thinking, oh, it looks like Punch-Out, I'm gonna have a great time. No, it's really boring, but I just wanted to show you. Another boxing game that I have here is for the Sega Genesis, Evander Holyfield Real Deal Boxing. I actually bought this Neo Japan, the retro store that I go to, a complete with manual and everything. And I bought it because it was $2 and because I'm a huge fan of boxing. But the game is not that good, even though it has awesome graphics, 16-bit classic graphics. The game is not that awesome. It's really hard to punch in this game. So I'm trying to figure out how to play that game really well. And for last on the boxing side, Rinking. Now, this is a classic. We all know of what this game is notorious for, so I'm not going to tell you that now. You're supposed to know. But this is an arcade classic. The port on the NES is really awesome, really faithful to the arcade. It looks pretty awesome. Really loved it. Okay, I just showed you my boxing games. I'm gonna go to another sport that I like, and it is tennis. And obviously I have the original tennis for the Game Boy. This is the NES version on the Game Boy, and it was really fun. Also to play with with a friend. I actually played this game with a friend just once, and I have a great time. Really cool to play. Sometimes the controls don't work the way you're supposed to, but the game is pretty awesome. So if you actually find it, buy it. It's a good game. Another game that I have for tennis here is this one. Is Chris Evert and Ivan Lendl, whatever. Top player tennis. And this is a game that I got from a friend that actually gave me a box of a bunch NES games a long time ago. I have it with manual and everything. The game, I have to tell you, is not my favorite tennis game ever. It's not that good, or I don't remember much about it because I just played it once. I just remember that I didn't like it that much and I put it back. I have to give it a try one more time to actually check it out and try to beat it or something. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a second chance. Sorry, but my favorite tennis game of all time, obviously, is Virtual Tennis on the Sega Dreamcast. Now, this game is pure awesome. Play this game on the arcades every time that I have a chance to. I will play this game. I'm not a big sport fan, so every time that we find sport games in the arcades, I would not play them except this one. Between NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, and all that stuff, this is the game that I actually did play a lot, and I really like it. Virtual Tennis on the Sega Dreamcast, and this port is absolutely awesome. Okay, guys, I just gave you the tennis games that I actually like, only 3 of them. Let's go with basketball, and I have a bunch of games here of basketball. As you can see, the very first one is NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I have to tell you that both versions of NBA Jam and NBA Jam Tournament Edition on the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo are absolutely awesome. Both versions are awesome. I actually got this because it was given to me by a friend. He gave me a bunch of Genesis games, and this one was in. I don't have the box for it, but I really like it. But the one I actually liked the most between the 2 original versions was the original NBA Jam. Now, this is the Sega CD version. It's not the original case or anything. I just bought it like this, and we open it here. Here's the disc. Hey, here's the NBA Jam disc for the Sega CD. And I don't have the original version of NBA Jam as a card, which I will try to get my hands on it. But at least I got the Sega CD version, and it's really good. I only played this version just once, and I believe I didn't hear any music. I don't know if it doesn't have music. I don't remember. I have to check that out. Check that again. I don't remember. Now, on the NBA Jam series, the one that I actually loved the most was Showtime, the NBA on NBC. This is a Dreamcast game. The 3 versions of this game, it came for the N64, the PlayStation, and the Sega Dreamcast. I played all 3 of them. and I have to say that the Dreamcast version is the superior one. My brother Nuki actually owns Showtime for the PlayStation, and a friend of mine actually had it for the N64. And the one that is the most faithful to the arcade original is the Sega Dreamcast. The other versions of the game have some modes that we're mixing, like the PlayStation. This is the only thing that I remember. The PlayStation doesn't have the instant replays. The Dreamcast does, but the PlayStation don't. I don't know why, but this is the NBA Jam Series game that I actually love the most, Showtime, and it has to be for the Sega Dreamcast. Oh, you're looking at it. Yep, this is a classic, and it's Double Dribble. I love this game, and it is, I believe this is the only basketball game that I can actually win the computer. Because you know that sports game, the computer is really an asshole. But this game I can actually beat the computer, and I really loved it. Actually, this game actually gives you an Olympic feel every time you start to play the game. You know, you see the people walking to the stadium, and you hear the United States national anthem. It actually gives you that Olympic feel, and I really like it. The halftime show is absolutely awesome in this game, and the mascots and all that stuff. I also got the Genesis version of Double Dribble, which is Playoffs Edition. Now this is like a part 2 of the game. I know there's a version on the Game Boy and all that stuff, 5 on 5 or something like that. The first time that I played this game is because I rented it, and I say, wow, another Double Dribble. Now the thing is that this game is really hard. It's really difficult to play against the computer. The computer is unforgiving on this game. You can actually have the ball, and as soon as you have the ball with you, you will have 3 people right in front of you, and they will not allow you to move. It's really hard to run from one side of the court to the other. It's really hard to play this game. I actually like more the NES original, but this is also a cool game. It has awesome graphics. It's really cool to actually have it, even though it's really difficult to play. Now, the reason I got this game over here, this is the Data East Arcade Classic, and the reason why I actually brought it out, it is because it has Street Hoops. And Street Hoops is an awesome Data East Arcade game. I bought this one and saw the game. I started to play it. It is really fun. And then I actually saw the arcade at my work. Every time on the last week of October or the first week of November, we celebrate the customer care week, and we have a complete week of activities. And one of the activities they actually give us is that they always bring 2 arcade games. And on the last one, we have Street Hoops, and I actually played. Now, at last, I'm going to show you a last group of games that are sports related, but they're kind of different in a way. The first one, this is the only race game I'm going to show, and it is F1 race. And I actually love this one. It's pretty easy to beat. The reason why I got it is I actually bought it like 2 or 3 months ago. And it's because I remember it when it came out. It actually came out with this huge box that allow you to play 4 players at the same time. Found it really cheap. He was the owner, not anymore. And I got it really cheap. It didn't win more than $2 or $3 on eBay. Got it pretty awesome. It's a racing game, but I'm gonna include it anyway. Now, let me see what else I got it. Oh, baseball. This is the original NES Black Label Baseball. Not my favorite. My favorite actually is Basic Loaded and RBI Baseball. And I know that I have RBI somewhere down there. Yeah, it's over there. But I didn't mind to look it up. I just picked this one up. RBI Baseball is pretty good, but my favorite is Basic Loaded. the reason why I actually bought the original baseball, it is because it's a classic. It's not the best baseball game ever, but it's a classic and I really wanted it. And I have here a series of 3 wacky games. And I say wacky because they are wacky. And this are the Tiny Toons sports game. And it came in 3, one for the Game Boy, one for the Super Nintendo, and the Sega Genesis. The Game Boy one is called Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Sports. This one actually has real sports. It has basketball, baseball, and all that stuff. Really fun, but it's kind of difficult to play. When the Super Nintendo version, which is called Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Sports Challenge, has some sort of mini games that actually are not sports at all. You have different type of mini games that it doesn't have like a basketball and baseball like this one, but it is kind of wacky to play and really fun. And last, the Genesis version of the game, which is called Tiny Toon Adventures Acme All-Stars. Now this game actually does have sports in it. It has basketball, it has soccer, it has, what else it has? I know it has soccer, and yeah, it's racing here, but I don't remember. All 3 games are kind of difficult to play, you know. It's not that easy, especially when you're playing the soccer game on this one. God, it's really hard to get the ball. It's really hard. I actually got it with everything in manual, pretty cool. And I just wanted to have all 3 because I was on a Tiny Toon kind of craze, and I started to find mostly all the games for the Tiny Toons between the NES, the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, which are the Super Nintendo, which actually are the only good Tiny Toon games. I don't care for the other games that were made by Warner Brothers Interactive or whatever they're called. I like the ones that were made by Konami. So guys, that's all that I have for now. Watching the Olympics on my TV over there. So that's all that I have for the moment. I know that I haven't had many videos like we used to, but once again it's because of the backlog challenge, and as soon as we finish with that, we'll return with our normal programming. I will see you later.